guys, today we're going to be learning how to, I'll be showing you how to fit up and weld from how we do our procedures here. Usually we start out with reading out the material number, the front face, and the flange capacity. I think that's what it is. 150, 316, schedule 80. Everything looks good. And the rest, it's pretty easy. Just always make sure that the flange is correct, because sometimes a little numbers can affect everything. Right here the layout shows how they want their gaps, their threadlets to be centered with the two holes of the flange. And the gap will be 1/8. And then the reducer always stay clean, the inside pleats, always. Same with carbon. But yeah, for the spacing, for the gap, I usually put at 3/16. Run it at 120 amps. For the root, run 20. Hot pass at, hot infill is just 1. For this 2-inch and 1.5 inches. I use the spacers at 3/16 rod. You require 1/8, but I use 3/16 because stainless shrinks 1/16, so everything evens out. Yeah, 120 in the root, 125 fill in hot, and then I cap it at 130, 135, depending on how hot it gets. Yeah, for everything I do, bridge tacks. You don't want to do no penetrate tacks on stainless, because you know how stainless, you have to back purge it, and if you try to do a penetrate tack, it's not going to be pretty. And when you're tacking this, always make sure it's leveled, but don't level it the exact. Always go past level by 1/16. That way when you tack it on the other end, after it cools down, it tends to pull. So once that cools off and pulls, you'll be at a level, because you went over a little bit. That way when it pulls, it'll go to its level. Once you gain a little bit more experience, you'll know how much you have to go over. Because if you put an exact level, you'll be unleveled because it'll shrink. So just keep doing that all around. You'll start to get the hang of it after. You can do the same with carbon steel. Look, everything looks good. Now to add the top piece. Remember, with this top piece, you want to have that hole center with the flange in between those two holes right there. And always make sure there's no high lows. Everything looks perfectly fine inside. Everything looks even. Hole is in between those two holes. And from there, you should be good. Always make sure your gas is on. That's really easy. Just press the pedal. Make sure my gas is on. Yeah, that Tacking behind me are some 12 packs that the company provides. 12 packs of 100% argon. Yeah, like I was saying, level them. After they're level, just raise it up about a 16th more. That way when you tack it and it cools down, it'll settle back into level. Because if you put it at the exact leveling, then it's going to go under and it's going to be unleveled. Just a tip for y'all. Always put the brakes tacks in front of the bevel outside. Well, not too outside, just right before. You don't want to put anything close to the root. Usually something like cut the little ends of the rod. On the rod I use is a 332, 316 filler rods. And then the rest I do at 1/8 for the fill. Hot fill and cap. All with 1/8. It's not a big pipe. It's only a 2-inch. With a 1.5-inch reducer. Alright, everything is tagged, ready to go. Purge it through this pipe right here where I just screw it on. Have the pipe running through the middle. And that's the way I usually put the stuff, tape it, ready to go. Running the root pass. Always make sure you got your gas flowing, you're purging. Last thing you want is to start running a root pass, wet your gas off, and have to dig back in and redo everything. Yeah, once you keep doing that, just keep moving the tape around, make sure everything is sealed, gas is flowing. And when you're about to close, always have an opening, that way argon don't blow through the weld. I usually like to start from 11 o'clock. Let it roll clockwise. Seems to work good for me. Puddle settles right on the root. Can't really see well, but There goes part of the root. And like I said, just keep putting tape around, except for where you're gonna run the passive course. But everything looks good. And just keep going. Always make sure it's on your gas, because I usually keep it on and just don't turn it off until I'm done, because usually if I do when I'm grinding down, I tend to forget sometimes to turn it back on. Just let the puddle go in. Look at your little keyhole in between the roots on both sides of the pipes. Everything's flowing in. It's penetrating. I'm using a shade 10 fixed lens that worked good for me. That's the whole root right there. Just have the last part to weld the closing. And like I said, always leave a little opening somewhere, so that way you don't like blow through while you're trying to close. Have a little opening right there. After you close that one, you can always poke like little holes in front of the flange. Yeah, I finished all the roots. Now I'm doing the hot and fill pass right now. And I run it at 125 with a 1/8 filler rod. Usually a root and fill, not root, a hot and a root. A hot and fill is just one pass because it's a small pipe and it's only a Schedule 80. So it's not the thickest. Schedule 80 is about a 1/4 thickness, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, just do that all around. There it is. And then from there it's just a cap. And then you're semi-done. And from there you always level out your little throw load. But let's skip all that. This is the finishing already. That's it. Just level everything out. Make sure everything's